I have literally sat here for several minutes trying to think about how to start this video. Hi Dollar Divas, welcome back to my channel. I told you I'd be making more chatty get ready with me's, basically because it's what you love to see most. Literally the day after I recorded my last chatty get ready with me, life throws you new material, you know? So anyways, yeah, so I will explain. So thank you for joining me, and if you happen to be new, my name is Jessica, and I like to do a lot of dollar store oriented makeup and shopping content. And yeah, like I said, I love to do a lot of chatty get ready with me's. A lot of my Dollar Divas already seem to like those types of videos, so I'm going to be trying to do more of these in the future, and you've clicked on a very interesting one, so welcome. I'm going to be using all Dollar Tree makeup today, and I'll have it all linked down below in the description box. I'm not going to be stopping and talking about each product in this particular video, but so let's go ahead and get started and I will explain. So I'm going to start with saying that I'm not going to spend a ton of time harping on what happened, who said what, all that kind of thing. I'm going to give a brief synopsis of the nature of what happened, why I couldn't stay, how I feel about it, and how my life has been since this week. And then I'm going to proceed to talk about the present and the future and where I go from here. So just a quick, if you are new to my channel, I'm just going to give you like a couple sentence synopsis. That way you're not completely and totally lost. I'm a full-time performer, and I have been most of my adult life. Not like Broadway style shows, but like, I don't know, theater shows that usually revolve around music and, you know, like popular music, like, you know, oldies, Motown, you know, 50s and 60s, rock and roll, gospel, different things like that, you know. And so I am a singer. I dance too, but I'm not a trained dancer. But I have spent the last majority of my career being a magician's assistant. And I have been very, very happy doing that for a long time. Probably the better part of, you know, well, I've done that. This is my 8th consecutive year, but I actually got 2 years prior to that I had done at a different time. But you know, with COVID, things changed, and we had our venue that we had, and we lost our venue that we were at for years and years and years, and we moved into a theater and took a different time slot, and we share a building with a couple of other shows. So of course, last year I worked all the shows in the theater, so I got to still do the magic show I had done for several years prior, but I got to join the cast of their other shows, which are like song and dance shows. Which I'd always, you know, I'd always wanted to be a singer when I grew up. That was like my thing. But you know, I've always taken different kinds of jobs. Like I said, I've kind of picked up some dancing abilities, nothing crazy, but that was not something I started out doing. So I did all 3 shows last year. This year I just pared down to 2, just the 50s, 60s, and actually this year it's 50s through the 80s music. So I'm doing like that show, and I was gonna continue to do the magic show. I let one of the other shows go. It was just, I loved it dearly. I still fill in and you know, from time to time we'll do shows to help someone out if they have to be out. We call that a swing in the performing world, or an understudy, same thing. And so I'm an understudy for that, so I can jump in and do that from time to time, which is great. I certainly, you know, 6 nights a week is a lot. So, and then I do like kind of like a maximum of like 7 shows with the other 2 shows combined. So that was gonna be my schedule. It was gonna be a lot lighter this year because I do this YouTube thing as well. So anyways, last Saturday, I did the unthinkable for a performer, and it is so out of my character. If you know me, you know it's out of my character. But when I tell you it's out of my character, it's out of my character. I have never quit a job. I've given notice, like I've been like, I have to go, I'm gonna give my 2 weeks or 1 month or whatever it is. I've just like not returned after like a contract has ended or something like that. I have never quit and left a job, and I quit mid-show on Saturday at the magic show. Now I still do work for the other show. It's complicated. It's complicated, you know, because I'm still in the same building as this show. So yes, I left the show mid-show on Saturday. And I'm not gonna get crazy with the details. Honestly, the details would seriously bore you guys. Like I'm not even kidding. Like it really is just about silliest thing, and that was part of my reasoning for walking out. You know, of course I've worked with the magician, and these people I've worked with for a long time. I even know a lot of past assistants, and practically all of his past assistants. They all pretty much live here in the area and we see each other on a, fairly regular basis for one reason or another, Let's just say I've observed a lot over the years. And although I have always been treated, I will sit here and tell you I have been treated well. Always. There's been some cracks showing kind of. The last couple of years have been tough. COVID's changed everything practically, And, of course, my line of work, the entertainment industry, is certainly no exception. So it brought a lot of changes for the magic show. It brought forth a transition that, it was just different. In so many ways it was better. And then in other ways, you kind of mourn the way things were. That's just natural. And let's just say that the magic show used to be a full-time job for me. I got a mortgage with my magic show job. But, after COVID, it wasn't that way. So I had to do other shows to supplement my income. And that's tough when you work for a headliner. That's not always an easy thing for them to share you with someone else. Or for me, the assistant I always was I was always very attentive. My job was my priority, but then I'm spread, especially last year, I was spread a little thin. And things just, things that were once really important end up not. It's just it's like kind of a natural phase, So over the years, of course, you see things. And like I said, I'd always been treated really well. I'm not going to sit here and say I haven't been. But I've observed things, I've seen interactions with others, and, you just know the people that you care about, you see certain behaviors, You can't help it when, when you've known someone for a long time, So, over the years, I'd seen some things, and they affected me, but not like they did on Saturday. And I knew once Saturday happened, there was going to be no going back. There was no going back. I had realized how toxic the environment was and knew that it was not going to get better. And that in that moment it had just gotten worse. I've been in magic since I started at 25, and then I've been doing the exact show I've been doing since before I was 30. I'm 30, almost 38 now, for reference. So, I've grown up a lot. Between 29 and 38, that's it's not as big as like 19 to 29, but it's still a pretty sizable change, So I've just grown. I've just grown, and I was treated and spoken to in a way, whether it was meant for me or not. It just changed everything in a second for me. I was done. And here's the thing. The fact of the matter is if I was hurt, I'd have tried to fix it. If I was sad, I'd have cried. If I was angry, I'd have yelled back. But the fact of the matter is I had just grown indifferent. And in that moment, it was not worth a single moment more. And, and I shocked everybody. I work with one of my best girlfriends. Of course, everyone's concerned, you hurt, you feel this way, you feel that way. I really had to explain to everybody then and today, that day I was indifferent, and soon after, peace hit me. And I just had, normally, that's not something I would have ever done, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I would have been very afraid that I would really regret something like that. That's why, I've never done anything like that. That is not my character. So yeah, what quickly followed in the hours after, instead of having regret, like I would have been, in years previous, wouldn't have felt like I could make a decision that seemingly impulsive. But I just knew in my soul I needed to get out of there that day. And since then, I have just the most incredible amount of peace that it would be something I could have only hoped to feel. Of course, as being a responsible person, you always have that fear that you're going to make some kind of a mistake, or you're going to, I wouldn't classify myself as an overthinker, but I would classify myself as being responsible. And I knew that since I had made that decision, I knew it was the right one. I just, you get to a certain age too, and you start trusting yourself a little bit more. You don't question what you do. as much. I mean, I still have days, you know, where I question, but you know, that's human. But generally speaking, I really trust myself, you know. I knew it was the right thing because it happened. And already, just this week, I'm starting to already just see that it was the right choice. Unarguably. You know, and you just can't argue with those signs, you know what I mean? You know, as far as the money goes, the money is very easily replaceable. You know, money is important. We need money, but it's also truly is not everything. And, you know, and I know the majority of people that I'm talking to right now know that and understand that. That's not a new concept by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, so I am done with the magic show. I've been out of it for 1 week. My last Chatty Get Ready With Me, like I said, I had filmed the day before and had no idea what would happen the next day. But it happened, and like I said, I have zero regrets. Zero regrets. I told my husband, it was one of the first things I said to my husband, and I've said it to several people kind of over the last week, that, you know, we'll just take, say 5 years ago, for instance, walking out of the show like that, it wouldn't have been an option. You know, I would have stayed despite the circumstances. Because that's, you know, that's what you do in show business. You know, if you're a professional, if you've been doing it as long as I have, and, you know, and I know people that have done it longer, staying and seeing it through would have been what allows me to be able to look in the mirror. You know what I mean? I totally forgot to put this under my foundation, but that's okay. It'll work. It's a color corrector. But on Saturday, had I stayed, I would not have been able to come home and look myself in the mirror afterwards. So that is the past. That is the past. So yes, I now have one show that I do full time. We also have another production that we do later in the year. We do like a Christmas show. So I'm employed enough. You know what I mean? So like I said, talking about the future, let's talk about the future. I am now on TikTok. I literally, you know, if you say never, I mean, that is something that, you know, believe me when I tell you will happen. I said I'll never do TikTok. I don't really watch TikToks. Actually, watching TikToks actually gives me like a little bit of like anxiety. So I don't watch TikToks. And my friends will send me TikToks and that kind of thing, and I'll watch those. They're funny. But I don't scroll TikTok. I'm just gonna let that bake. But it's just a good way to get out there. Y'all will have to excuse my foundation. I've got a few foundations, and they're all legit like too light for me right now. I'm just gonna have to get some more colors. Plain and simple here, y'all. But we'll make it work. I don't know, maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I need to get some darker foundations. Anyways, but it said, you know, TikTok that's where the eyes are. That's where people are these days, you know. So I did start a TikTok. You know, it's actually surprisingly easy. I thought I had a hard time with Instagram Reels, and I did some YouTube Shorts, and that wasn't quite as bad. But honestly, I feel like TikTok is the easiest one out of those. So honestly, I've been very, very pleasantly surprised by how easy it is to make a TikTok. So I'm trying to do one every day, at least one. I'd like to do more. I don't know realistically if I will, but I'm trying to at least do one. That's kind of what I've been doing. You know, that way, you know, if people are on TikTok and they like content like this, they can come on over. They can, you know, either watch my TikToks only or come over here too. And I am also, of course, planning more and more content. I want to try to go back to like my every other day posting schedule, or even something relatively close to that. I did that like the later part of last year, and it actually surprisingly wasn't too bad. Actually, for the period of time, it actually seemed a little bit easier than just doing like 3 scheduled videos a week where it's like on particular days. And then I, of course, had fallen away from that. And but yeah, I really would like to get back to that, to as close as I can. So that's part of my plan as well. I also have like another project that I've tossed it around for years and years and years and years, and really kind of, I don't know, and you'll find out what it is soon enough. But this particular project that I'm talking about, for years I've just been like, I should, you know how that goes. And some of it was me being afraid. Some of it was me not wanting to put the time into it. But, you know, I'm not afraid anymore. I think I kind of explained that in my last Chatty Get Ready With Me. I'm just not as afraid anymore. And so, yeah, I kind of feel like this is something that I can tackle and I think maybe be pretty good at. I don't know. We'll see. It's just another avenue to better myself and, you know, further career opportunities, you know. Of course, my husband fully supports my decision, what I did. I did not consult him before I did what I did. I didn't call him up and be like, hey, I'm fixing to quit. No, I called him after, and I let him know the way my husband believes and the way, I believe. We do have, we have responsibilities. There's just some things that, we just have certain things that need to be done. But ultimately, the best thing for everybody in this world is to be happy. And not happy because things are perfect or there's no responsibilities or anything like that. But just happy despite things, happiness is a choice. And I know there's lots of things with mental health and depression and all that kind of stuff. And that's not really something I'm talking about. I'm just talking about just generally speaking, you can choose peace and happiness in your life. So he just wants me to be happy. That the money will come and go. Jobs will come and go. Opportunities will come and go. There are people that have all the opportunities, all the money in the world, and they're just not happy. It don't matter. It don't matter. So if you can find a way to be happy, be happy. So he's a huge believer in that. And so I am. I'm going to do things that make me happy. Now, nothing makes us happy, except us. You can't buy anything that makes you happy. You can buy things that bring you joy. But yeah. So, like I said, the other show brings me joy. That I do full time. It brings me joy. YouTube brings me joy. Spending time with my husband brings me joy. I'm trying to see my friends a little bit more. I have not asked for a vacation from a boss since 2015. So if you do the math, that is 7 years ago. Now, I get an off season every year in January and February, but, my best friend, one of my best friends, my best friend, kind of funny little backstory. She lives up in New Hampshire. So my parents and her parents were friends when I was little, her brother was little, and before she was born. So of course she was born, so I have known her whole life, and she's a year older than my brother. So I've known this friend for longer than I've known my own brother. And so I asked off for a week 7 years ago when she got married. I was not going to miss her wedding for anything. But I have not asked off for time. I had to take off time last year because I got COVID, and we had the 10-day policy at the time, and my husband had a heart attack. And then, of course, I get January and February off. But where did I tell you my friend is from? New Hampshire. Now, I'm sure I have dollar divas that live up in New England, maybe Minnesota, places like that. If not, if you guys don't understand what New England and anywhere up north is like in January and February, it is horrible, especially when you've been living further south like I have. Now, granted, I can handle the cold, but we've gotten snowed in, and it's fun. It's fun, but literally my friends, they have to come get me from the airport, and it's snowing, and I've had flights canceled and delayed and this and that. And that's all fine. I've always had a great time going up there. But since then, I've never gone up at a normal time of the year. Literally, New Hampshire is pleasant the month of August. That's it. No, I'm kidding. So her anniversary is in August, and she always gets a week off. And it's usually the week of her anniversary. Well, her husband is deployed. She's got a 2-year-old son now, and he's gone. He's deployed. He's going to be gone for about a year. And so I just really, like I said, things have changed, and everything that I've always done is still important, but I have always put that up at the top of my priority list and have done it, and have just other things that are important have not done them. And so I'm going up to visit her this year, and in August for the first time in 7 years, and I just sometimes, life can I told you guys last year I needed a better life-work balance. I got that. You know what I mean? And then you have to kind of act on it. I'm spending more time with my friends. I spent time with friends last night. And I will be again tomorrow. And, and just being a little bit more present for the people in my life. So like I said, as we go forward, definitely I ain't going nowhere here. You will be seeing me. Follow me on TikTok if you're on there too. So yeah, and like I said, I have lots of exciting things. And as things go forward, I will unveil maybe this new project that I'm going to work on. And of course, involve you guys in that as much as I possibly can. And so, yeah, like I said, life changed this week, and I don't regret it. It's, I feel good. I feel really, really, really good. Anyways, thank you so much for sitting and chatting with me and listening to me. I appreciate you guys more than you will ever know, and onward and upwards. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.